Hi, I'm Richard Kerr, co-author of the bestseller The Binge Code and the Bulimia Help Method, and I'm really excited to have you here. I'm excited to share this information with you. I know you're going to find this really helpful. You see, we've been coaching sufferers of binge eating and bulimia since 2008 with our online programs, our books, our one-to-one coaching. And over those years, we've identified 3 key pillars which are essential for binge eating recovery. And that's what we're going to explore in these videos. And these are all about practical strategies. There's none of that wishy-washy stuff. This is about real world practical strategies you can take home today and apply today. So you're going to find these videos really helpful and really useful. So let's get into it. So the first pillar we want to focus on is an empowering mindset. So an empowering mindset is all about your attitude and response to cravings, because what you believe about your cravings really matters. You may believe that you're powerless against cravings. You may believe your binge cravings are a response to some unmet need or personal trauma, or perhaps the binge cravings serve you in some way. Or maybe you believe that you're just simply weak or broken or faulty in some way. So before we go any further, I want to make this point super clear. We have helped thousands of clients over the year, and if there's one thing we can say with a certainty is that you're not weak, broken or faulty because you binge on food. It is not a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of some personal flaw. The truth is there's no need to judge yourself harshly for experiencing a binge urge. It's not a reflection on who you are as a person. So I cannot stress this enough. You are not the problem. You are not the problem. I want you to think of the binge code as a no blame zone. So we're going to stop blaming you. We're going to take the focus off you, and instead we're going to focus on what the real issue is. So what's the real issue? The real issue driving your binge eating behavior is simply habits. That's right. I said habits. You see, your brain is really good at making habits. It's a habit making machine. And anything that makes us feel good in the moment, you know, like jogging or food or alcohol or cigarettes or TV, we can form a habit to it. It's that simple and that easy. The majority of your cravings are simply due to habit. This is good news because quite simply, it's never too late to change your habits. And we're going to show you exactly how to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this empowering mindset to bring us back in control and help us change our habits. Now, the first thing I want you to do is to think about your response to binge cravings or binge sensations, and I want you to change your response. So your habitual response may be, thinking that you're weak, you're powerless, you're broken, you're faulty. I want you to soften that response. So if you can imagine that response is like wearing a backpack full of heavy boulders and just walking around all day with this heavy weight, I want you to take off the backpack, put the heavy boulders in the ground. Most of those thoughts, they're simply not true. And you're going to feel a lot more lighter and in control simply by putting them aside. So instead of focusing on the narrative experience, I instead want you to focus on the sensory experience, the physical sensation of the binge urge. And we're going to use a really simple, really powerful technique we call the SOS technique to do this. So here's what I want you to do whenever you experience a binge craving. I want you to use the SOS technique. It's a 3-step strategy to overcome binge cravings, and the first step, S, stands for stop. So quite simply, whenever you notice you're experiencing a boiling binge craving sensation, I want you to just immediately stop. Stop moving, stop doing whatever you're doing, and if you can, say the word stop out loud and perhaps even clap your hands together. The more physical you make it, the more impactful it will be. And the idea behind this is to really snap you out of that habitual automatic autopilot, to give yourself a moment's pause, a moment's clarity, And already by doing that single step pause, you bring the power back into you. You see, a craving is a sensation, not a command. You don't have to obey it. And by pausing like this, you're giving yourself your own opportunity to respond in a way that's right for you. So step 2 of the SOS technique is observe. I want you to observe the sensations happening in your body, the physical sensations. And I want you to keep it really simple. Just notice whatever's happening. You know, tingling sensation, tightness in my throat, warmth, pulsing, whatever is going on. So whatever you notice, what's important is I don't want you to fight or get angry with the sensations. These sensations, they exist here and now, and there's no point making ourselves more uncomfortable by fighting with them. Instead, try to just remain calm and logical. Try not to get caught up on the drama. That way, you're going to feel much more calm and much more in control. And by doing this, you get to really see what a binge craving feels like without your imagination going amok. And you may notice that, you know, it might not feel as intense or as uncomfortable as you previously thought. But each time you do this, you're also educating yourself on the experience and you become more prepared to handle the experience. Step 3 of the SOS technique stands for substitute. So the best way to change a habit is to replace it with a new habit. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to replace the binge eating habit with a substitute. And honestly, this can be just about anything. It's really up to you to find what works best for you. But I want you to choose a behavior, choose a substitute and apply it. So for example, you might want to do 1 minute of exercise, star jumps, burpees. Maybe you want to phone a friend. Maybe you want to put on some shoes and go out for a walk. Maybe you want to dance around the room or work on your journal. The options are endless, but it's really about choosing something that works for you. Okay, so a really important point here is that I want you to plan your substitute in advance. I want you to think ahead of time and decide now what you're going to do. That way, when the moment strikes, there's not going to be any hesitation. There's not going to be any second guessing. You can just implement your plan and take action. Also, whenever you apply your substitute, I want you to work at it for at least 10 minutes. 10 minutes isn't that long length of time, but studies and first-hand experience shows us that 10 minutes is just the right amount of time to allow those cravings to really calm down. And whenever you apply your substitute, I want you to forget about the binge cravings and instead focus on the feel-good feelings with your substitute. So for example, if your substitute behavior is to go for a walk, I want you to focus on those feel-good feelings that happen throughout your walk. And that way you really help to embed your new habit much more quickly. So that's it. That's the SOS technique. Stop, observe, substitute. And every time you apply the SOS technique, you're weakening the habit. It's shrinking down and those binge cravings will start to reduce and you'll notice reduction in just a few short weeks. Okay guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I am excited to share this information with you. It's an honor to serve you and I'll see you in the next video. All the love, all the power.